Good morning, English students. Sorry I'm gone today. This is a quick tutorial on what we're doing today. The first thing is I want you to go ahead and pass in your paper from yesterday to the substitute teachers. So make sure you do that for the previous poem for Emily Dickenson, because I could not stop for death. Hopefully you got some of these terms on the last poem. For the ones that you're going to get today, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do this instead of drawing a picture this time. I want you to actually write above these lines. That's why they're so big. I want you to write above them and actually paraphrase the lines, so line by line. So let me show you what I mean. This is the first poem that I want you to look at, and Much Madness is Divinest Sense by Emily Dickenson. And what I want you to do is to come over here and do your best to try to paraphrase these lines. It'll be challenging, okay? So I'm going to do the first lines with you, and then hopefully that'll help you get through the rest of this poem, and we're going to look at the next one. Much madness is divinest sense. So to a discerning eye, much sense the starkest madness, 'tis the majority. Well, there's definitely some words here that are unusual. And so what we're going to do is kind of look at this and kind of read it slowly and try to put together this sentence here. Much madness is divinest sense. I know the word sense, and I know madness. Madness is the opposite of sense, right? It sounds that if you're really crazy, that's the best type of being logical, being normal. That's what it sounds like. Much madness is divinest sense. You're going to need to look up some of these words right here. Divine usually has to do with perhaps the supernatural, but even more than that, the spiritual realm, or even perhaps like the greatest. Okay, we'll just put that. So how about this? Being misunderstood is the greatest thing. To a discerning eye. Discerning means to find out. To a discerning eye. How about this? If you look close. And I want to point something out that we're going to talk about this, and I want you to write this down, that this idea of multiple meanings, and this came up in our notes, but that she's going to use some of these words that have multiple meanings. And so this one right here, I'm going to write this down. This one has a multiple meaning. And I'm going to put a little question mark here. Is she talking about the actual eye of someone? Or it could be, I'm going to put this in parentheses, at me. Being misunderstood is the greatest thing if you look close at me. Maybe she's talking about herself. Remember, Emily was pretty misunderstood, and she's kind of a recluse. We know that about her. But in any case, I want you to go ahead and do that with this poem, is to paraphrase it, go through it, give it a summary, and then state the theme. All right? And then find 5 of these in here, okay? 5 of these things. The last thing is this. I want you to go ahead, turn it over. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this side. I want to give you some help with this one. So I want you to do the same exact thing. And this one's called Tell All the Truth, but Tell It Slant. And you may have remembered that we have a term that sounds like that. We actually call this slant rhyme. And she's actually talking about slant rhyme here. In fact, we had some slant rhyme. I don't know if you noticed it. There was some slant rhyme on the previous poem that she used. So pay attention to those that she's using right there. But over here, she's going to play with that in this poem. And so look for these slant rhymes at the end of these lines. But she says, tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. So you're going to have to really think about some of these words. Success in circuit lies. What's circuit? Circuit's round. Think about the way that she's using these words and paraphrase them again over here. Write a summary and all this. You can work in groups. That's fine. You can work with each other. But by the end of the period, you should have this done. I will check for this tomorrow. All right. See you tomorrow, English students. Thanks a lot.